I mean, it's common sense to fix a property up.
Yeah.
Common sense is you got to find a property that's not fixed up to be able to fix it up. That's the key to making money in real estate. Finding something to improve and make it more valuable. Because every dollar you spend could be worth $4. What do you want to talk about fixing a property up? What you can do to fix your property up? What? I can just tell you what we do. You need to find properties that need to be fixed up. That's how you make your money. It's easy to fix it up. You could go to a property and you don't know shit about real estate, and in 10 minutes you could tell me every fucking thing you'd like to see here that would make the place a better place. It's human, it's logic. The pool looks like shit, let's buy new pool furniture. I mean, it's common sense to fix a property up.
Yeah.
Common sense is you got to find a property that's not fixed up to be able to fix it up. That's the key to making money in real estate. Finding something to improve and make it more valuable. Because every dollar you spend could be worth $4. I built an addition on the garage on the beach house that we had. It cost me $100 to build a friggin' box over the garage. When I sold the house sells for $800 a square foot. I spent about $100. So on that 400 square foot box, I made $700 a square foot. What was that? On top of the house. So we got 400 square feet. I spent 100. That's 40 grand I spent. Let's say 50 grand. Probably spent at least 50 grand. Okay? But when I went and sold it, only because it was on the sand in the beach, I made 700 because we sold for 800 square foot. So 700 times 400 is $280,000. I increased the value on that house for putting a box, like a family room, over the garage. There was nothing over the garage, and then it was a 2-story house behind it, but the garage is attached to the house. It's simple, 40 grand turned into 280 grand. I mean, you gotta maximize anything you got. Think about what can you do to make it more valuable. How much do I have to spend? But don't spend too much, because then, it doesn't make sense. You gotta do what makes sense. Okay, new take. What do you want to talk about? We're talking about, new take for advanced people in real estate. Gather up all your assets and sit down with the bank and find out what options you have in borrowing money against those assets to take the money and find the next big deal. The only way you're going to find a big deal is to have your money and your financing lined up. So you need to just gather all the assets you have and liquidate as much as you can to raise cash. That's what I did. I'm just telling you what I did. Anything I could borrow against, I borrowed against. Why? Because I'm using the money to go out and find new deals that are going to make me more money. So I'm happy paying a bank there 3 or 4 or 5. When I first started, I was paying 12% interest. That's what the market was back then. And then I had to go to a C lender. I couldn't go to an A lender back then on my first few deals. You got your A, you got your B, you got your C. All right, maybe even D. That's the guy that's sitting behind the back of a bar. You don't want to go there. You get the hands on the money. You find the deal. You get with the brokers selling the properties. You find a big deal. You can't just go out and say, I want a big deal. It ain't going to land in your lap. You got to get out there and see in your price range what is available in the market and see if you can find a diamond in the rough. That's what you got to do. But you can't do it without money backing you up. All right, here. If you got a piece of property, I don't know, it's a duplex, it's a single family house, it's a triplex, whatever it is, how much is a property making every month? That's all that matters. And your tax returns should even show that on Schedule E, I believe. Is it E or C? I always get too confused. I think it's E. Okay, it shows how much you made in rent, what your expenses are, your depreciation, and how much you were left with to pay tax, which is normally next to nothing after you depreciate it out. A lot of times you're in the negative because of depreciation. So we got a great tax system here when it comes to real estate. All right, so here we go. This property here is bringing you in $1,000 a month income, right? And then you got another one bringing you in $1,500. Here, you want a roof on the house? There's the roof. There's that roof. Here's the door. Here's a friggin' window, a window here. Okay, here. You got a friggin' dog. I don't know how to draw a dog. It's a bird. Here, you got a bird. There you go. All right, you got a house. Well, the bird belongs here. That's a dead bird. Forget that bird. Put the bird up here. Here, bird.
That's a bad neighborhood when you have a dead bird.
Hey, you know, you make your money wherever you can. You know, so here, you got something else, whatever you got. This one's at $2,000 a month. The bank's going to say, okay. You know, you could take individual loans out on them if you want, but I wouldn't want to pay 3 loans. If you plan on keeping it, and then plus you get more respectability, the bigger the loan, the bigger the client you are to the bank. So you want to always get the biggest loan you can, because the more money that they loan you, the more money they make off of you. It's a simple process. So you go to the bank and you say, listen, here's the 3 houses I got. This is what they're making every month. Here's my tax returns. And get the most you can against them, providing they're not going to let you go in negative cash flow. But just make sure that you don't ever go in negative cash flow, okay? So if you're cash flowing this much amount, you know, make sure after you pay your new mortgage, you're still comfortable. Okay, but right now rates are low. It's a damn good time to get a nice fat loan. So what you do is you go and you take a loan out. You know, whenever this property is worth based on the rental value. Okay, so if this property is $1,000, you know, maybe it's a $200,000 house. I don't know. You know, maybe you get $200K there. Maybe here you can get $300K. You know, it depends on the location of the house, depends on the size of the house, what other houses are selling for in the neighborhood. They're going to want an appraisal, you know, but the rental income is a big part of it too. You package all this money up together in one loan and get your hands on as much as you can, because the more you can come up with, a bigger 20% down, the bigger the deal you're going to be able to buy. Okay, or 25% down, depending on, you know, your situation and what you're buying. You know, they're going to loan you money based on what you're buying, okay, on the new asset. So if it's a kind of a rough asset, they may not want to give you 80%. They might want to give you 70 or 75. But, you know, there's all kinds of ways, you know, and then there's loans out there. Some banks will give you money to buy it and to fix it if you found a good enough deal. If you can prove to them, hey, if I put 50 grand in this house, it's going to be worth 300,000 more. The banks aren't stupid. They'll see that. And then what they'll do is they may only give you the money as you spend it. They do that with me. When I buy a building, they give me money to fix it up too. You know, and then as I spend it, they give me the money back. Get all your assets, and you can always just tell the bank that you're willing to cross, oh boy, here comes my spelling, collateralize. Not lies like in lying, but lies with a Z. No lies. Okay? I mean, you know, go to the bank. It's all about sitting down and seeing what the bank's going to do for you. They're not stupid. They're going to do appraisals. They're going to do searches. They're going to, you know, they're going to go through the whole process. Okay? And they're going to loan you what they feel they can swallow on that house. And then you take that money and go find a bigger deal. And here, there's the hotel. Big. And it could be a hotel, it could be an apartment building, whatever the hell you want. It could be retail, it could be anything. But I'm going to tell you right now, people keep calling up and asking about hotels. I'm giving you fair warning. Hotels is not buying real estate. It's a business. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week business. Unless you get some little mom and pop place, it's business. It ain't like a regular real estate. Typical real estate, you rent it out, and if something, you know, if it's multifamily, if something breaks, you fix it. If it's retail, you don't do nothing, okay, unless you're responsible for the roof. You know, it frees you up to do all kinds of other stuff. You can do a whole shitload of real estate, you know, because you rent to the tenant and that's it. They pay you. A hotel, you ain't doing a whole bunch of nothing except running that hotel. So, you know, unless you hire management companies and then they're going to piss away your money and Why get in business if you're not going to run it? I never understood that either. You get the money off the assets you got now, or wherever money you can get your hands on. You put it together, and you go out. You figure out how much money I got from the bank to get the 20 or 25% down, and then that'll tell you how much the bank's going to give you 80%. And you go out and you find the bigger deals. You don't have to buy one big deal. You can buy 2 big deals or 3 big deals, whatever. Stretch the money any way you want. Even if you buy a small one and a bigger one, it doesn't matter. As long as what you're buying, you're going to make money on. Oh, it's over here. I'm looking over here. Clean the blackboard. Here is our rehab tip. Okay, rehab tip. How to rehab. Rehab is the easy part because all it takes is money. If you buy a piece of crap property, I don't care if it's a house or a duplex or a 100-unit building, a 200-unit building, because whatever you do in that one unit, you just keep doing. It's repetitive. That's the only thing about hotels. Whatever you do in one room, you do in all rooms. Let's say you go out and you find yourself a big building, say 50 units, right? Here we go. It's a red building. And it needs love. That's what I always say. The buildings need love. They need sprucing up, okay? There's a lot of things you can do to a property, but you got to see, what does the property need, okay? Do the tenants have dogs? Here's a dog, okay? Well, it looks like a person. How's a dog's nose? I don't know. There's the dog, okay? A lot of people like their pets now. Everybody, you can't go on an airplane without pets now. I mean, everybody's got a pet. The airports are full of them. Everybody needs their emotional companion. You know, I had to sit next to this big-ass German Shepherd on a plane. It wasn't that great, okay? He kept sniffing my leg and, you know. Anyway, one of the big things we do when we have a building, we notice there's a lot of people have pets, and we have like a piece of landscape that we normally have to maintain, okay? You know what you do? You buy a fence, and you put a fence around a piece of land that you normally have to worry about really manicuring and keeping nice for landscaping. You make it a pet park, okay? That alone is going to make people want to live there and pay more rent. Let me tell you something. Pet people will pay if you make their lives more pet friendly. Okay? You get the little doggy things over there, you know, and so they can put their poop in their scoop and all that crap. And then, you know, there's things you can do is focus on things that make their lives happier. A happy tenant pays more money and pays on time. You know, that's one thing you can do. Maybe throw a shitty bench in there. It costs you $100. The things you can do is, you know, make sure that the paint, you want your front to mainly look good, okay? The rest of the areas you can get around with keeping things looking clean and decent. But the front of your property, that's the front. That's the picture, you know? And you want to do something here. It don't cost much to put some landscaping in, you know, a little palm tree here. You know, anything, you know? Make sure the entrance, at least, to your property, you probably have a small office here, you know, make sure the office looks good. If you have any kind of clubhouse space, make sure it's nice, you know, with some nice furniture, and make it look good. Always focus on the front, okay? The guy I worked for was such a cheapskate. The guy I started working for when I was like in my 20s, you know what he would tell me to do? He'd tell me, only paint the face of the building. We'd have a building, he was so cheap, he didn't want to spend the money on paint. The face of the building looked great. And then the size and everything were like back in 50 years ago. It was ridiculous. But anyway, at least make sure it worked. And then the worst thing that happens when you go to sell a building, you say, okay, they complain about the paint, you say, okay, fine. Take 10 grand off or 20 grand off the purchase price and I'll give you credit for paint. You know, spending money later is better than spending money sooner. So, you know, think about what you can do. You know, if the inside of the apartments, you know, have shitty looking countertops, I mean, honestly, there's a process where we can spray on countertops. which we do a lot, you know, and it's been working for years and years, and nobody's gotten sick or hurt from it, so it must be okay. Or you replace the countertops. They're not that expensive. New hardware in the cabinets. We don't replace our cabinets. Nobody sees the box, and the box is in good shape. We buy new doors. We buy new doors with a new look on them. They take the old doors. Doors only cost like $5 or $10 a piece, and you get a little fancy hardware on there. It looks like a whole new kitchen. All right, you know, it doesn't cost a lot of money, but you know, you need to make things look good and as nice as you can. You know, now, you know, if you're just in that low to middle range. Now, if you're high end and the person's paying you a fortune, that's a whole different ballpark. But I don't think too many of us are there yet. I'm not there yet. Okay, this is Tips for Ben. This one was on rehab. Okay, keep leaving comments, and we'll try to address your comments with a hot tip. Adios, amigos.